Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to go over the character review of Irregular Urek Mazino. And since this guy is an XSR Plus, we're mostly going to focus on how it compares to the SSR Plus version, and we're going to just quickly mention some things about its base kit and exclusive equipment. The main focus is going to be how good this unit is, whether you should be pulling for them or not, and how they are compared again to the SSR Plus counterpart. So we're going to start immediately by talking about how good this unit is. And I will say is definitely an improvement over the SSR Plus version because this guy has similar survivability but a bit enhanced thanks to the invincibility coming from Revolution 5. And also it provides added utility, which is extremely important. I think that's the major reason why I increased this ranking, because the base variant is A plus at below 350, and I think A plus arrow down at above 350. This guy, I gave him an S rank at below 350 and A plus arrow up at above 350. So there is definitely an increase. I don't think it is still enough to make this guy really relevant or good to use. I mean, if you don't have any alternatives, he's definitely going to do his job quite well, but he's not a unit that you will really use in most teams if you have the alternatives. So I don't know. I don't think he's really that great of an investment. He's okay. He's at least acceptable. They could have done a lot worse with this revolution, so I'm quite happy about what they did here. But it is still not enough. Obviously, this is not a unit that can be called Urek Mazino. It's just kinda weak. We'll see. In theory, we might get a EX Urek Mazino for 2.5 anniversary. We don't know. This chance will only go up if the anniversary EX is going to end up being Luzlek. So if that's the case and Luzlek is purple, then we might get a yellow Urek Mazino for the 2.5 anniversary. But again, all speculation. We'll see what will actually happen. Okay, back to this guy. As I mentioned, I think is fairly acceptable. His energy decrease that is also AoE, I will say I really appreciated it, but is not really game changing. It's fine. It's nice to have, but if you don't have it, still kind of the same. So I don't think is a unit worth your tickets, especially because if you're pulling on his banner alone, these units are extremely expensive. I mentioned like 800, 900 tickets. If you're unlucky, maybe even 1000, kind of depends. The purple tickets, so the normal summon tickets. But if you use the data tower, it should cost you only around 660, 700 maybe, if you don't pull for the SSR Plus unit. If you do pull for the SSR Plus unit, if you leverage the data tower, it would cost you around 400 tickets, more or less, give or take. If you also want to go for like the additional revolution mats in the data tower, then that would be maybe 450, 500 like at most. But yeah, that's kind of the range, and I think it's super acceptable for an SSR Plus level unit. Just maybe not for this guy, but if you are interested in the SSR Plus unit, then I think you should definitely be pulling for them and then going for the XSR Plus as well. So in the future, when they're going to release XSR Plus units, if the like SSR Plus is decent or good, it might be worth it because then for very cheap, you're also going to get another SSR Plus basically. Now, if they actually release a unit like Eden or Evan, then it might be worth it to go for them, like regardless of whatever the SSR Plus is. I mean, you don't even have to pull for the SSR Plus, just be prepared to invest around 600 to 700 normal summon tickets on the XSR Plus. So that's kind of the range. And yeah, that being said, I think we can quickly mention a few things about his kit and exclusive equipment, and then read the revolution and see what actually changes. So for the base kit, we have nothing really too fancy. We have the swiftness decrease. This is only 15, so it hardly matters. Then we have a 80% attack and defense increase. The attack is just whatever. The defense is nice to have, but it can be cleansed with the enemy buff removal, so kind of meh. Then we have the just last part that when it dies is going to paralyze all enemies and deal damage. Fine. Then we have the active skill called Space Distortion. This is the active skill that also got the Evolution 5 improvement. Really good stuff. And he's basically going to, okay, become invincible, deal damage around him, paralyze enemies, fine. But what's important is that he is going to gain celerity for 20 seconds. And while this effect is active, Mazino is going to, okay, increase his own swiftness by 30, fine, and teleport to his attacker to deal a percentage of the attacker's damage and paralyze them for 1 second. This is going to be further enhanced by Revolution 5, and is going to turn this into an AoE attack, so AoE paralysis, AoE energy decrease, and 1 second invincibility. This is really good, if you ask me. The thing is, it's not really easy to have a 100% uptime on the invincibility with just this. It is possible to proc it while he has the invincibility, but the animation is a bit long, so you need quite a lot of swiftness to reduce the animation frame, and then it might have a better uptime, but it's really a bit too RNG. So you still have to rely on resistances, otherwise it will feel a bit too squishy. So yeah, decent, but not exceptional. Then we have Shinsu Barrier. This one is just going to create a barrier for all allies and just decrease the enemy swiftness by 20 for 5 seconds. Nothing major. It's okay, but again, nothing major. Then we have the special move, just a lot of attack scaling and stun, then another attack with knockback, and then we have yet another attack with yet another knockback. So yeah, a few explosions, a few attacks, nothing major, and HP recovery and swiftness increase. That's all it does. It's okay, but there are definitely way better special moves nowadays. This is really a bit old. And that's it. Then for this equipment, we have lifesteal, fine. We have HP recovery whenever it's hit by a status effect. Super annoying as an enemy, for us, kinda shit. Level 2, we have the cooldown reduction for the active skills when you're hit by a status effect. So really good at keeping a good uptime on celerity. That's also one of the reasons I don't think you necessarily have to go max cooldown reduction, even though I know people that like it on him. I don't think it's really needed. There is already this effect. Should be fine most of the times. Then we have level 3 is just going to remove buffs on enemies whenever they're hit by the skills. So good. And level 4 is going to become immune to status effects at the start of the battle. Perfect. Permanent immunity to all status effects. Decent. We already know that because it's super annoying as an enemy, but okay. Then we have Revolution. This is what exactly changed compared to the SSR Plus variant. But Revolution 4 is one will give him an 80% HP increase for each blue element ally. This will count Urek himself, so that's going to be up to 400% max HP increase. And this cannot be removed by buff removal skills. Thanks God, because otherwise it would have been kind of trash. And then we have every time he uses a skill, he creates a barrier for all allies equal to 30% of his max HP for 8 seconds. Considering how much HP he has, this is quite the tanky shield. But yeah, not too reliable. I mean, if your units don't have resistances, they are still going to get one-shotted. So it hardly matters, but it's okay. Could be nice, especially for PvP purposes. Then we have the core Revolution upgrade, I think, of this rework, and that's going to be the Revolution 5. It's going to become invisible for 1 second every time it teleports, if you remember what we saw before with the celerity buff, and also make the teleport attacks ranged and reduce the hit enemy's energy by 100. I think this is kind of a typo. I need to recheck maybe in game, but I remember it being AoE. I don't know why it says range, but okay. Still decent, I would say. Especially, again, this energy decrease is really, really nice. And for the rest is all the same. So yeah, I really like these two over the original variants, so nothing much to say. In terms of ignition weapons, also here, nothing major. We just go with Bari most of the times. I don't think there is any alternative that even comes close. One of them could be Alocasia, but the fact that you have to be hit for the invincibility to proc and the energy decrease to proc kind of makes me not want to run Alocasia. So I wrote it there, but in the notes, I already mentioned that it needs to be hit for his Revolution 5. So Alocasia is a bit against his own design. So I would not recommend it. The other one is a bit more troll. I tried Mago on him. It did increase his damage, but his damage is nothing. So it hardly matters. You can use it. He's definitely a good user of Mago. He benefits from attack, benefits from crit rate, crit damage, defense ignore, and yeah, he can reliably block the energy decrease. So it is a decent option. But yeah, if you are above like 200 deficit, I think his damage is going to be nothing. If you're below 200, you could use it for fun. Should be fine, but yeah, I don't know. I might remove it, but just know it could be a potential trolley fun build that you can try and run. But yeah. And for the investment guide is fairly simple. I made for like I added as mandatory for orange, mainly because this guy like without revolution is basically the same as the other version. So why you would use him a lower dupes? It makes no real sense. But even if you could, there is nothing he does without at least orange 4. I think his durability is too low. So you definitely want this. And then we have, okay, like only focus on resistances. You want to go full resistances because that's the only way you can keep him alive. If you're at a point where resistances don't work, they should still work on him unless you are like 400 and above, especially if you can invest in HP and defense in his revolution subnodes. If you cannot, then this guy will kind of be super weak at 300 deficit. But yeah, I mean, it's possible to make him work, let's say up to 400, 450. I wouldn't push it any higher, but 400, 450 should be no problem to keep him alive with resistance builds. And then we have here, okay, Revolution 4, that's the maximum we can do. And effect resistance only for debuffs, because for actual status effects is already immune. So this one is actually entirely optional. And we also have HP, definitely good because it scales with this Revolution 4 that gives additional HP. So it's nice. And yeah, that's all you can really get out of these nodes. For the recommended, that is basically the same as the nice to have, to be honest, just changes the exclusive equipment and slot 2 and slot 3 levels. Otherwise, they're exactly the same, so it's okay. We can go with the nice to have, I would say. And here, all the changes is +5 for the gear, everything +20, still for resistances, nothing changed here. And for the subnodes, we go defense, HP, and effect resistance. These are all the nodes that you need for him to actually tank reliably. And yeah, you don't even have to bother with Revolution 6 because max will reduction, as I mentioned before, is kind of not needed. So that's all he will really ask you. Like, if you give him that, it will at least stay alive. That's all we can say. And would I recommend it? No, really. I mean, I wouldn't waste Revolution mats on this guy. To me, it's really a waste. And in terms of teams, as I kind of can say for most tanks, they work wherever you need them. Like, if you need a frontline unit, you can use him. He doesn't really have great synergies with anybody. It will just remove buff from the enemies, reduce their swiftness a little bit, reduce their energy, paralyze them every now and then. And that's about it. It's not going to do anything much. It doesn't synergize with anyone. Maybe you could say synergizes with Dawn because with the fact that he can cast skills quite frequently, he can give Dawn a lot of stacks fairly early on. But Nothing really much. I mean, he's just a frontline unit. You need a tank, use him. That's it. So yeah, I think I will close the character review here. Let me know if the next ones I should make them even shorter. Maybe I can skip some other points, or if you would like me to go in more detail about some other things. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you tried him and how you feel about him. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.